Good evening, everyone, and welcome from America with Ayman. Definitely, there is a great role. It's called county judge, but not everyone know exactly what county judge role and how he hold in his shoulder a lot of responsibility. I'm glad I have one of the smartest candidates who's running for this role in Harris County, Texas, Mr. Orlando Sanchez. How are you doing, Orlando, today?
I'm good, Amor. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming to my show. I'm so glad. This is the first time I'm interviewing someone who's candidate for a judge role. So this is a huge role, and not everyone know exactly what their responsibility behind this role. So let me talk first about this role, what this role doing, and then we go more detail about you and what's inspire you to running for this role.
Well, first of all, Ayman, thank you for having me on the program. I'm delighted to be with you. So your question is the role of the county judge.
Yes.
So when Texas was declared its independence from Mexico in 1836, Texas had a huge area, and Texas was divided into 254 counties. Obviously, it's one of the largest states in the Union.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Constitution of the state of Texas, the legislature only meets every 2 years, and they only meet for 120 days to address the issues facing the entire state of Texas. Well, Texas had to figure out how to manage the 254 counties.
Mm-hmm.
So when they created these counties, they said because Austin, the legislature and the Senate, only meet once every 2 years, we're going to delegate a lot of the activities, the governance of the state of Texas, to the county commissioners and the county judge. So every county in Texas has 4 commissioners and a county judge. That's a total of 5 people that oversee all of the governmental activities of every county in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So you have exactly the same government in 254 counties, precinct 1, precinct 2, 3, and 4. And then you have a county judge.
Mm-hmm.
In the old days, the county judge had some responsibilities, some judicial responsibilities. But as the state grew, we created the courts, the state district courts, the county courts at law. And so the role of the county judge has somewhat diminished. The county judge now oversees, in Harris County, emergency management, oversees the operations in case of natural disasters like hurricanes and tornadoes and floods. In addition to that, the county judge sits on the bail bond board, overseeing the policies of the bail bond system as it affects the criminal justice system. The county judge oversees and hears applications for liquor licenses in the county, of all things. But the real power in county government is in the commissioners. Each commissioner is sort of the overseer of everything that happens in precinct 1, 2, 3, or 4. So the county judge's role over the history of the state of Texas has been somewhat diminished. A lot of people believe that the county judge is like the CEO of the county.
Mm-hmm.
You can say that,
Mm-hmm.
but unlike, let's say, since we live in Houston, the mayor of Houston is very powerful.
Yeah.
Everybody works for the mayor, the police chief, the fire chief, all of the department heads report to the mayor. So the mayor is the CEO of Houston. In the county, for example, all the elected officials, like the treasurer, the district clerk, the county clerk, the tax assessor collector, all are sovereignly elected. They don't answer to the county court, the county commissioner, and they don't to the county judge, and they don't answer to the commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
They're independently elected. So yes, people think that the county judge is a very powerful position, but in fact, it's just one of 5 votes on the county government.
Okay. So let's talk about you. Since we meet, I see a lot of passion in your eyes to helping Harris County. So let's tell the audience on people they are going to vote in the midterm elections. what's inspired you to running for this role and for this responsibility, and what you carry was a background for you to help you to improve this role to the people who are leaving Harris County?
Well, first of all, by way of background, I don't know if you and I had this conversation, but I'm an immigrant to this country, and I immigrated here in 1962. I'm a U.S. citizen.
Like me.
Yeah, and I served in the United States Air Force, and then I went to the University of Houston. I started my political career running for the state legislature in 1992, and then I was elected to the Houston City Council. I served as a city councilman for 6 years. And then I ran for mayor in 2001. And then I got elected county treasurer for Harris County for 12 years. So for 12 years, I actually ran the finances of the county. Then I thought I was going to retire. But as we've all seen, the situation in the county with respect to crime is out of control. We had 700 homicides last year between 2024 and 2025. The county is now $300 million in debt. By contrast, when I was the county treasurer, we had no debt. We were paying down what little debt we had, and we balanced our budget every year. We had money in the bank. And so I see the county going in the wrong direction, and I want to make sure that Houston and Harris County stay friendly to businesses wanting to move to Houston. No business is going to move to an area where there's a lot of crime, there's no infrastructure, flooding every time it rains, the court system backed up, taxes are too high. And so that's why I decided to come back and run for the position of county judge. I have experience at the city of Houston and Harris County, so I know the region very well.
Great. As you mentioned, you have 12 years of handling the budget and treasury for Harris County. So let me ask you this, especially today, we have a government shutdown for they don't agree for the budget. So let me ask you this: if you elected, what's the specific thought for you for the Harris County budget should be allocated? Like it should be increase or decrease? And as today is the first day of the government shutdown, let me ask you what's your position of this?
Well, if you're a property taxpayer in Harris County, you know that the budget increases every year. This fiscal year, Harris County is taking in $260 million more from property taxpayers. Of that, only $60 million comes from new construction, because as you build new properties in Harris County, that creates revenue for the county. But there's a $200 million tax increase on existing properties, which most of it is homeowners. And so my priority obviously is going to be to provide some relief to the taxpayers in addition to what the state of Texas has already offered in the last legislative session. Taxes are just way too high. Number two, we have to eliminate the wasteful spending and whatever corruption is happening in Harris County. We know that's happening because there's been some questionable contracts. We get involved in a lot of social engineering programs. We waste money on everything that's not related to infrastructure and criminal justice. The responsibility of the county government is to provide for a good criminal justice system. We oversee the jail. We pay all of our employees. We have 23,000 employees in Harris County, many of whom are first responders, police officers. Harris County does not have a fire department. So we have to make sure that we pay our law enforcement sufficient amount of money to be able to retain and attract new law enforcement officers. We have to make sure that we expand the court system to be able to adjudicate, that is, to hear the criminal cases that are being brought by the district attorney in Harris County. And then we have to make sure that there's enough money to address the flooding situation. The Harris County Flood Control District is the only organization, in addition to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, that controls flooding and retention, detention in Harris County. And so the taxpayers approved a multi-billion-dollar bond issue years ago, and the question is, where's that money gone? we haven't seen any improvements on flood control. So
Last-
those are the
last month-
priorities.
Last month we have disaster in the highway when the flooding, and I just wondering, I ask myself the same question: where my tax money goes?
It's being wasted. It's being wasted. And not only your tax money, but as we all know, the toll roads
Mhm.
provide a lot of revenue for the county.
Mhm.
And rather than saving that money and improving our toll road system, every year, the county takes $300 million from the toll road authority, which it was never intended to subsidize the operations of Harris County.
Mhm. That's very important, and as we all talk about like the total authority, it's one of the part of the local government. But let me back to my question for the government shutdown for today. This is happening every year and almost every year, but for people they're watching us from abroad, like my show is I run most of my podcasts and sometimes in Arabic, so people watching me from Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, whatever. And I'm surprised today when I hear some channels over there, they speak in Arabic and they say, talking about the American government has been shut down, America is falling in debt, America will be gone. So what is your message for those people who don't understand exactly what the government shutdown is?
Well, there really won't be a government shutdown. For example, about 75% of the federal budget is not discretionary, meaning it funds programs year after year after year. So the Defense Department, Social Security, all of those projects will continue. We will continue to pay our air traffic controllers so that the air traffic control system doesn't stop. All of those governmental operations, the post office, that will continue to run.
Mhm.
But there are other discretionary spending that the Congress, by the way, let me say,
Mhm.
the biggest responsibility that Congress has is the control of the purse strings. Congress sets the spending, Congress sets the budget. And that's the only job they have failed to accomplish for the last 6 years.
Yes.
Because as you mentioned correctly, the so-called government shutdown, which really isn't a shutdown,
Yeah.
has been going on for the last 6 years, last 3 administrations. So it's a ploy. The Republicans and the Democrats in Congress can't get together to pass a budget. In my opinion, that's a failure of Congress. But we all know, based on the polls,
Yeah.
that the American people have a very low view of the U.S. Congress.
Yeah.
They can't do their job.
Yes, exactly. So let's back to Harris County. So I know we have a nice conversation when we meet in person. And let me ask you this: for you, if you get elected, what is the most 3 priorities for you as like issues you see in Harris County and you need to be fixed immediately if you hold the county judge role, and how you address this or how you fix this and how you tackle these 3 issues?
Well, first of all, the first priority, of course, is to get the financial house in order. It's like your checkbook. If your checkbook is out of control and you're taking on too much debt on your credit cards, there will come a point where you can't make the payments, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure Harris County never reaches that point. Let me share with you.
Yeah.
Cook County, which is Chicago, Illinois. Cook County is $20 billion in debt.
Wow.
$20 billion in debt. Los Angeles County in California is $70 billion in debt. By comparison, Harris County outstanding bond indebtedness, that's the money we borrow from Wall Street, we're just $5.9 billion in debt. And so I want to make sure that we don't become Cook County, Illinois, or LA, California. I want to make sure that Harris County continues to operate in a fiscally responsible manner. So the first priority is to eliminate the $275 million budget deficit, pay down our debt, and live within our means so we don't put pressure on the property taxpayers. Remember, there's only one source of revenue for county government, and that's property taxes.
Yes.
Unlike the city of Houston, they have a sales tax, they have a property tax, and they have fees that they collect. Harris County only has property taxes. So as the budget for Harris County continues to spiral out of control, that's more pressure to raise your property taxes. And right now people are hurting and they don't need to pay more property taxes. The other issue, of course, that everybody is worried about is crime. We had 700 homicides last year.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that we have enough capacity in the Harris County Jail to lock up the most violent criminals. We need to stop giving free bonds or personal recognizance bonds to violent criminals and make sure that the public is kept safe. Then we probably need to add some more state district criminal courts so we can handle the backlog of criminal cases. And then finally, address the infrastructure issues, primarily flooding, especially in the Kingwood area and areas northwest of Houston, where a lot of the growth is happening, because as you build more properties, as you pour more concrete, you make the ground less porous. And if you put too much concrete on the ground, water has no place to go. So that's what creates a lot of the flooding. So we have to have detention, we have to have retention, we have to dredge our lakes so that there's enough capacity when the San Jacinto River is overflowing and the dams are opened at the lake so that that water can flow to the Gulf of Mexico.
Great. So as you mentioned here in the about the crime record is high, especially in Harris County, and we can see the violence everywhere, and people have guns, and definitely the guns violence is a major national concern. So if you your capacity as a county judge, what action will you take to support or to address the public safety for gun violence in our county?
Well, first let me say I don't like to use the word gun violence.
Okay.
I'm a gun owner.
Yeah.
I have a lot of guns, and I've never had a gun discharged by itself.
Yeah.
So the guns don't go off by themselves. It's human violence.
Exactly.
People operate the guns. Here's the issue: the
especially,
U.S.
sorry for cutting you, but especially for the teenagers, like the one they can access guns, but they don't have to access guns and attack schools or churches or whatever. So sorry for cutting you, but probably I missed the right definition for what I mean by guns violence. Sorry.
No, you're right, and we have an issue in that the U.S. Constitution and the Supreme Court has reinforced the right of Americans to keep and bear arms.
Yes.
That's no question.
Yes.
We have millions and millions and millions of firearms in the hands of law-abiding citizens. Unfortunately, a lot of the crime that occurs, let's say, in the city of Houston, is that people may break into an automobile and steal a pistol or a firearm. That can be a semi-automatic, a 9mm, a 45 caliber, whatever. Those guns, by the way, those criminals are not prosecuted in Harris County by the current judges. Those criminals sell those firearms into the black market. There's no tracking. Nobody knows where they go. So you're correct in the sense that it is the responsibility of the gun owner to keep guns secure. Unfortunately, too many families have guns at home. Children have access to them. By the way, that is a violation of the penal code of the state of Texas, and it's also a violation of the city of Houston ordinances. You have to lock your guns in the city of Houston. And so, look, the question isn't guns, because when I grew up in the 1960s, we didn't have that sort of violence, and there was a lot of guns. Americans have always been hunters. They've always owned guns.
Yes.
This is emblematic of a sick society, a society that's too in tune with the internet, too much social media, too much brainwashing, and lack of mental health care around the country.
Yes.
So it's a tough issue, but taking the guns away from, for example, if the government said tomorrow it's illegal to own a gun in America, most law-abiding citizens would turn in their guns. But who would keep the guns? The criminals. They would never comply with the law. So that's the problem. We have to have, I always say that there are countries around the world where gun violence doesn't exist, if you want to call it gun violence. Crime doesn't exist because they have harsh penalties. People know. I travel to Mexico a lot, and in Mexico, it's illegal to have a gun or a bullet. If you're a U.S. citizen going into Mexico and you have one bullet in your car, let's say you're a deer hunter and you forgot your bullet, you go to jail. But look at the violence in Mexico. So even when the government outlaws firearms, there's still crime because it's a problem of the criminal justice system. And in this case, in the United States, the lack of funding for mental health.
Yes, totally agree with you. And again, as you mentioned, we need a lot of mental care, especially in the schools, especially in the teenagers, because like the one who decide to kill Charlie Kirk, he's had a washing brain. They wash his brain. He's decided to do something because he doesn't agree with someone's thoughts. So it's very important, I think, to address this for and I wish the new board of education here in Houston, Texas, they take care of addressing the mental support for the new generation, so we have healthier generation with more healthy brains as we grown up before.
Yeah, well, what's sad about this whole situation is that social media has actually isolated people more. I read a study the other day where teenagers now are relying on artificial intelligence for a buddy to talk to on the internet, on social media. These aren't real people. This is a fake person, but this is the only person they get a chance to talk to. So we've reduced our social interactions, and now all we do is play video games or interact with a make-believe human being that's artificially created.
Exactly. I'm totally agree with you. So let's jump into our last topic today, which is very hot topic for all over the country, which is the immigration. And as we are immigrants, we came through the system, but a lot of people, they try to come under the borders and they can come under the wall. So as a candidate for Harris County judge, how you cooperate with the federal government, like ICE or like the law enforcement, to address this issue here, especially in Harris County. We have a lot of illegal immigrants. They came through the borders. So I just want to hear from you how you do this cooperation, especially this is very important to the current administration.
Well, immigration seems to be one of those intractable issues that the Congress can't get it. Not only can they not get their hands around a budget, they can't fix the immigration situation. It's up to Congress to fix immigration. Congress knows there's a problem, and Congress has not addressed the immigration issue since 1986, when Ronald Reagan granted amnesty to millions of otherwise law-abiding citizens or illegal aliens. He created amnesty, and everybody that didn't have a criminal background could apply for citizenship. And the promise was made by the Republicans then that they would address the immigration issue. As you know, because you follow politics, nothing has been done about immigration. Not Bill Clinton, not Obama, not George W. Bush, not Biden, and even Trump now. So people are critical of Trump because he is now, for the first time in decades, enforcing current immigration laws. And the current immigration law says that you cannot be in this country illegally. So people are upset. But at any given time, Congress can address the immigration issue and change the laws. But not a Republican nor the Democrats will do it. Now, with specifically regarding Harris County, the county commissioners and the county judge have zero responsibility on the immigration issue other than, as you mentioned, to cooperate with the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
When every police officer, when any member of the United States military, or when anyone is voted into office, whether it's the president or a county commissioner, every elected person in the United States takes the same oath of office.
Yes.
They swear to enforce the laws of the country, the state, the county, and the city.
Yes.
And so there's a federal provision called 287G,
Mm-hmm.
which says that if an undocumented alien is arrested by local law enforcement, that local law enforcement will put a detainer on them and turn them over to ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in Harris County, our sheriff has decided not to participate in the 287G program.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the city of Houston, years ago, also had an executive order signed by then Mayor Lee Brown that didn't quite declare Houston a sanctuary city,
Mm-hmm.
but it said that the police were not to cooperate in terms of identifying undocumented aliens. And so you can't have this dysfunctional system where you have these federal laws, but you have the local government saying, well, we don't like that law, so we're not going to enforce it. Imagine if the IRS decided that, oh, Orlando Sanchez and Ayman can skip paying taxes, but everybody else has to pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be fair.
Mm-hmm.
You have to enforce the laws evenly across the country. And so that's my position. I came to this country legally.
Yes.
I'm sure you did as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people that are here that are naturalized citizens like
Mm-hmm.
myself are very upset about what's happening because we have millions and millions and millions of undocumented aliens.
Yeah.
Yes, some work, I understand, and some came here with this sort of the tacit agreement. I used to call it the wink and nod system.
Yeah.
The federal government would wink, say, come on in, we need cheap
Exactly.
labor, until until Trump got in and he decided to enforce the immigration laws. So it's a real mess, but again, Congress has to fix it.
Exactly. And I'm always encouraging the people here in my channel. After 3 days, the system will be open for people. They can apply for the DV lottery, which is the legal program. We came through this so many years ago. So I encourage the people always, if you want to come to live in the United States, you are more than welcome. Please go through the system. This will help you. You can come here. You can continue your education. You can put your kids in the school. You can find job easily. You will hold the green card. You have all the rights like any American citizen, except you can vote for the elections or you can run for something unless you become American citizen. And then you are mostly welcome to do whatever you want. So thank you so much for your time today. And before we wrap up the conversation, I want you to leave a message for the people they are going to vote for the midterm renewal. And what is your message today for the people they are check in the front of your name?
Well, look, I'm the only candidate running for county judge that has experience at the city of Houston and Harris County.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I ran the finances for the county for 12 years when the county was solvent, when we had money every year, and when we were paying down our debt. No one else has that experience. Beyond that, I serve on the board of directors for a bank for 18 years. I've served on the board of a hospital, one of the largest hospital corporations in the United States. I've also chaired the University of Houston Foundation, which manages about $400 million for the university and student scholarships. So on any given year, I manage billions of dollars for the public and private sector. No one else running for county judge has that experience. I've been certified as a county investment officer by the Texas Association of Counties. When I was county treasurer, I won state and national awards for transparency because I put our checkbook online so that every citizen could see all of the transactions of Harris County. When I was on the city council, I was one of the few people that has ever voted for a property tax cut. And so, you know, I have experience that no one else has. One of my concerns, of course, is that one of my opponents, not only does he not have any experience, no advanced degree, has never managed anything, but is also a member of the Texas AFL-CIO. And the reason I mention that, because I go back to our earlier part of our interview, where I mentioned to you that Cook County is 20 billion in debt, LA County 70 billion in debt. And the reason is because all of their employees are union members.
Yes.
Texas is not a union state. We're a right to work state.
Yes.
But the unions want to get a foothold in local government so that they have more union members. Beyond that, they want to give their union members the ability of what's called collective bargaining. That means that they have to bargain with the county or the city, or that they will go on strike. Imagine what would happen if critical services in Harris County, people went on strike, like nurses do, like teachers do. You may remember that during the Ronald Reagan administration, the air traffic controllers went on strike.
Yes.
You can't have a country functioning with unions going on strike. And if you look at the history of unions, they ruined the automotive industry. They ruined Boeing. They've ruined public education in Texas. They're currently striking at the Hilton Hotel in Houston. And it's all demanding what's called, economic justice, social justice, Davis-Bacon, increasing the minimum wage, more benefits that are piled on to the backs of the taxpayers. We can't have that in Harris County.
Great. Best of luck. I wish you a lot of success for this role, because I know you will do the best, and you turn Harris County to the different level. Best of luck, and I encourage everyone who listening to our interview today, please go to the midterm renewal election, because as I mentioned before, with a lot of candidates, they came here today to my show. Who affects you most is the local government. So you are so excited to go to voting for the president or the vice president. This is great, but who is affecting you most is your local government. Who affect your kids' education, they affect your health care, they will affect your lawfare, they affect your tax, your property tax, everything. So don't be lazy, as you did your part and you help us to bring Donald Trump back to the House. Please go and help all the conservative candidates to serve you and your county and your city, and don't be lazy. Best of luck again, Orlando. Thank you so much for coming to my show. We'll definitely meet again after you be elected in your role. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. You have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.